Well, we're back. I'm multitasking again, Jay.
Look at you, multitasking.
Well, Jason left me.
That's some talent. That's
well,
awesome.
Depends what I'm multitasking. That's important. See, I got to go here. There we go. Now we got our names are in lights, and I got it backwards. See?
Sweet.
Look at that. It's because Jason's not here. Hello, everybody.
You're Jay Peckham, and I'm David Burrows.
Yeah. Whoa.
Perfect.
I don't know if I'd fit into that jersey. Yeah, I probably would. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Progressive Auto Sales Arena. We're having fun, as always, here. We get serious once in a while, but not very often. Down here at the Progressive Auto Sales Arena, of course, the next preseason game, and it's always the London Knights versus Sarmia Sting, of course.
We love these home-and-home things.
Home and home?
Home and home, that's what they call it.
Well, there's lots
when you play back-to-back with a team. You play in their barn, you play in our barn.
And then, of course, coming up next, it'll be Windsor Spitfires.
Yep.
That we'll take on. So, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure they plan it this way. There's a bit of a rivalry between London and Windsor. Maybe planned that way. You know, it's early in the game here. We get lots of conversations. You and I just talked a moment ago about people talk to us and ask us questions. What's going on? Hey, you know what? Don't really know a whole lot more than anybody else. We're not privy to anything. Of course, Theo Hill was just drafted.
Yep, 100% he signed, yep.
And Ryan McGregor, let's talk about him because you mentioned him last time we were here.
Yeah.
And one of your favorites. And I just had a conversation with a hockey fan, and they're like, Ryan McGregor. They're really keeping an eye on him.
I think it's going to be his year. I really do. I mean, you know, we've seen him come in here, and he was exciting as a new prospect a few years ago. And, last year, especially when a lot of guys were down, we had some injury issues and stuff like that. I mean, he was that kind of the head of that sort of middle of the road younger guys that really took charge and carried the team at a time when they really desperately needed somebody. And Ryan McGregor was that guy. I think it's been fun to see him develop, and I think he's the type of guy that's going to end up being a leader on the team, whether he wears a C or an A or not, doesn't matter. But I mean, I think he's that kind of guy, and I think I'm excited to see some more hockey. And I honestly think this is going to be a real breakout year for him.
Well, it's his third year coming into the Sarnia Sting. He came off a great summer. He was picked by Toronto Maple Leafs there in the draft of 2017. And 65 points in last season.
Yeah, he's played well. And I mean, even the tournaments he's been at, I mean, everything. It's just been, it's been great seeing him develop into the hockey player he is now. He's got some forward firepower, which is terrific, but he does play well in the defensive end as well. I mean, those sort of all-around, both ends of the ice kind of guys they're few and far between. Yeah. They're hard to come by, and you know what, Ryan, I think can be that guy, and I think given the opportunity that he will likely have this year, given what our lineup looks like now, I really do want to predict a bit of a breakout year for him.
Well, and let's go back and talk about Franco Sproviero there as well too. He's another one. He's a bit of a firecracker. He's a motivator on the team too. I can tell you just from 100%. Talking to him in interviews and stuff. But you can see it out on the ice. Even sometimes going up to the other players and going, "Hey, let it go. Let's go back." Encouraging, right? Captain status.
And I've talked to a lot of people about Franco because Franco has always been, sort of one of my favorite players as well. He's, because he's one of those guys that gives 100%, 110% every time he's on a shift, and he's got that explosive speed and that very exciting playing style. That sneaky, sort of
he's very
dive, bob and weave kind of guy. He's very sneaky. I underestimate the sneakiness, but he's got that very exciting style of hockey that's fun to watch. He makes up for whatever he lacks in size in absolute ability. So I mean, he's always been a favorite of mine, and certainly this past season, especially on our penalty kill where he's been.
The penalty kill,
scooping pucks and making them cough them up, and absolutely. But at least
last year.
Well, and how many shorthanded goals, were directly responsible?
Well, you and I would often, when we were behind, we'd say, we need to get a penalty and go shorthanded out there and go get a goal. I know, it's kind of ironic.
Anything but the power play, man. Anything but the power play. But you know what? I think Franco's that guy, and I want to say that watching the black and white game, I love that kind of player, and it looks like we may have somebody kind of lining up to fill those shoes.
Right.
I've been watching one of the more exciting new prospects is a guy named Will Reddick.
Okay.
And again, he's smaller guy.
He got the assist.
He got the assist on the McGregor goal last night, and he's another one of those fun guys to watch. Lots and lots of energy. Very, very sneaky. He's the kind of guy that
you're the only one who caught what we're doing.
Absolutely.
You got to be our age to catch that.
He can kind of sneak through, and he's another thing I talked about a lot last year was those persistent players.
Yeah.
And I think Franco and Will, he certainly showed an awful lot of persistence in. He never gave up on a play. I mean, he was there until he couldn't do it anymore, or he was, whatever. And, those are fun guys to watch. I love those guys. I mean, they're clearly committed to hockey.
Yeah.
How can you fault
Well,
them for
yeah,
that,
and
right?
I was going to bring in the whole passion thing, like you can, again, off the ice, you can talk to these young folks, and you can tell that they're just ready for the next game. We want to get out there and let's get going. And what
100%.
can we? And a lot of what I saw last year too was, it's always great to we won and everything, and go home and go, yay, we won. But they don't seem to get too complacent. At least last year they didn't.
No.
And then they go back and they go, okay, we won, but there's still other things we can work on. What could we have done better? Maybe we got a little lucky over here. We need to work on that. They recognize 100%. Their weaknesses just as well as their strengths. You're
right, and I think a lot of that comes from coaching. I mean, not to put too fine a point on it. I mean, when Hatcher and Legwan picked up this team, we were bottom of the league, and they were, sort of new coaches, going into the next phase of whatever their careers in hockey look like, having retired from the NHL and stuff. And they come here as first-time coaches, and you know what? I mean, it can be said that just because you were a decent player doesn't make you a good coach, right? So, but they come into this, and in the very first year, we end up middle of the road, and we had some really great. We had a great season.
Well, let's talk.
Then last season was even better. So I mean, clearly they learned some things.
Yeah.
When we hit playoffs, I think that was a bit of a weakness, and I mean, seriously, just a lack of experience at playoff hockey could have resulted in this from our coaching staff. But I'm excited now that they've had that. What they're going to do different this year when we make it that far.
Let's talk. I'll let into what I want to talk about more of the coaching staff, because they're part of the team as well, for sure. And you made some good points in there. A bit of a change. Jeff Barrett is moved on, and following his dream of becoming a scout. I think it was for Boston, right?
Absolutely.
So we're going to lose some of that. Will somebody come in and replace that? We don't know. I mean, this is again, it's all early part of the season. A lot of conversations happening, but you're right to the point of, the new coaches. Like you say, you could be a great hockey player, but it doesn't make you a great coach. Doesn't mean you're a good teacher on how to share all of that, right?
But I mean, clearly they're getting better.
They're obviously doing
right. The team is doing better and better all the time.
Yeah. So no, it's definitely a reflection there of everybody on the team.
Yep.
The other thing that is exciting is the fans. We got to talk about the fans
100%.
because, I mean, I know when I first...
I love fans.
Yeah.
Love them.
Well, I'll tell you, when I first took this gig, I wasn't sure necessarily what I was getting into. Right? I was learning a lot of that, and I'll be honest, some of my friends were teasing me, you don't even know how to spell sports. But what really intrigued me about this game and got me into the game even more is the fans. It wasn't even just so much the game. The fans around me, when I'm talking to them and they get going and yelling and cheering and other things sometimes.
100%,
They're passionate about it. But you can feel it in this room here, the Progressive Auto Sales Arena, especially, with the new addition to the ribbon sign and the new scoreboard.
Yep.
And that shows the club's commitment, not just to the fans, but to the city of Sarnia as well.
And I agree, and I love that. I mean, that was when the Cicerellis were looking to sell the team and get out. That was always the fear, the concern that, whoever the next guys were going to be, we're going to pick up the team, and then we're going to turn around and play a year or two and move it. And clearly we haven't done that. And I'm so happy about that, because you know what, I've been a Sting fan for almost 20 years now, and I've been coming here and I've seen some good years and I've seen some struggling years, and and I've stuck to it. And you know what, there is a really good hardcore group of diehard, passionate Sting fans that come back every year, and then then you get what happened last year, where you get those other people that are a bit intrigued now because we got a good record on the go, and there's clearly something exciting going on here. Let's go jump on that wagon and see what's going on here. And I'm okay with that, because but I gotta say, as a big guy, and my buddy Lloyd, I mean, I love him to death, but when Lloyd and I come in and take up 2 seats, we probably should be taking up 3.
Right.
And last year it got really hard to sit in our section.
Maybe you just have to buy an extra ticket.
I don't know. I don't know, because it got really crowded in here the last year. That was my point, right?
Yeah.
But
which is great. I mean, we were
it's
number 1 in Canada for
100%.
2 weeks, right? And that just goes back again to the coaching staff as well.
I agree.
To the encouragement to the players, and the players. We talked a lot too about getting along. And every player that I spoke to last year, of course, I mean, they're always going to say nice things in front of the camera, I guess.
For sure.
It's genuine and sincere.
Yep.
Off camera, when you talk to these young players, they're like, it's just so amazing in the locker room we hang out, we get along, we have ideas. And if we do have issues, we deal with them. And because there's going to be personality conflicts, right?
Absolutely.
So the trick is to learn how to deal with those things so you can move past them, so that when you're on the ice,
100%.
things are working great. You're working together as a team, right? And we saw a ton of that last year, and hopefully we'll see that again this year. I guess the question now is, we're still like we talked about offensive. We've lost quite a few. Maybe we'll get some back. We don't know. It's any man's game, so to speak, right now. It's early stage, but that's always the danger too, right? In this sport is, and it goes for all the teams. That you can. And we saw 2 years ago, on the Sarmia Sting, where we had 3 great players that got called up, never came back.
Yep,
they were gone, and you worked hard with them, and then it was like, now what do I got to do as a coach, right?
As always, that's always the potential, right? I mean, you gotta figure that until the trade deadline happens, I mean, anything could happen, but. For guys like us that have been around for a while and we've seen what's going on, there's some clear things that I think, we can certainly talk about in terms of, what could it look like. And I think, for me, I think I want to talk about goaltending because, Aiden Hughes had got a reasonable amount of playing time last season,
for sure.
A reasonable amount.
And did well.
And I think, overall, I think it was good. But there's always that question about, okay, now your backup goalie becomes maybe your main goalie, or your primary, your go-to man. Is he going to be strong enough this year to fill those shoes for a season? We've got some talented young guys, but they're going to need a couple of years to really get seasoned to the pace of OHL hockey. So don't be surprised if we see one of the things the Sting maybe goes after this season might be another seasoned goaltender that could come in and provide some real back end.
It would seem like a fair move,
and a little bit more opportunity for Aiden to as a backup for him and in terms of. Camaraderie and having someone to build from.
And that being said, this is an encouraging time of season because the players are going, okay, like Aiden, okay, if I want this, really gotta, it could be a motivator sometimes.
100%.
This part of the season is a motivator, and even sometimes, and we've seen it at different games.
Oh yes, we have.
Where, maybe you'll pass the puck to that guy because you want him to get that next goal. Sometimes that works that way. But, there's definitely some...
But you're right, this
without getting ahead of myself and no I in team and all that.
Yeah.
But
But this is the time of year when you've got guys who are looking to get signed by the Sting.
That's right.
They're looking for the next thing. So, this is always exciting in preseason, watching these guys play their hearts out.
Yeah.
Just to earn that spot, because we're still in a situation where, there still needs to be a couple more cuts made, to our roster. We've probably got 25, 26 guys.
Yep.
We can't carry that many. There's a question about OAs and whether or not there's some guys that might be still left to come back yet, or guys that we might lose.
And there's a lot of variables involved.
Sure there is. So, but it's exciting even guys who know they have a place on the team, they're still fighting hard to keep that and to secure that going into the season, So should be interesting. And we've got some guys that are really valuable that would be way more valuable in a trade situation.
Who are you talking about there?
Well, it's hard to say. I'm looking at guys like, Adam Ruzicka, Theo Calvis, who, they've, they're decent players that may not necessarily be enjoying or giving Sarnia all that they can, but they're quality players. Those are the kinds of guys you can get something for in terms of trying to build for New Year. So, as much as we'd love to keep them for their talent, let's look at it and say, how much are they contributing, and even above and beyond that, what's their value to the team now versus, if we were to move them to a team where they might have a better time in their final year or two, and that kind of thing, then we can build on stuff.
If you talk to the coaches too, they'll it's bittersweet often. Because especially relationships are established between the coach and the players, a little attachment there. But at the end of the day, when you talk about being called up and then you don't come back down, but that's really what the OHL is encouraged to do as well, is to
100%.
Get them to the next level. That's what they're here for.
Develop these guys.
Part of it. Develop them and prepare them for that level.
And maybe there's some guys that we're not, our ability to develop them is, kind of capped out. Now is a time where maybe we can get them into a position where they're going to go for the Mem Cup, or they're, could see a.
Well, and where are we going to go? We're going to go to the NHL. Yeah. We're going to go to the AHL. We're going to go. 100%. There's lots of options out there, and some. If you listen to some sports shows that I've been paying attention to, they'll talk and they'll say, some of these guys play hockey to get them through school.
Yep.
And they maybe don't want to go to the NHL, or whatever. There's a lot of different reasons sometimes as to why they're playing hockey. And obviously not everybody gets through to that higher level.
Yep.
But if anything...
sorry, just watching the scratches. They just put them up on the board.
Oh, yeah, okay. So Blair Coffin, Nick Grima, Anthony Salonici, Curtis Egert, Marco...
Yakovlevich.
Thank you.
Yep. And Hugo Levinis. All right. Okay, so that's our scratches for tonight. So, which means that we're likely to see Aiden Hughes in net tonight.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And, I think, there's some senior guys in there, and I think those senior guys we're probably very likely to see some of our younger guys get a little bit extra ice time tonight, hoping for the best for them.
Which is okay. It's preseason.
Absolutely.
Have some fun out there and make your marks or whatever. It's actually quite not a bad crowd considering preseason. Preseason's typically quiet.
Yep.
It was pouring rain out there earlier. I wish that I had you there with an umbrella to help me.
I know. I still see some dampness going on. There's still a little dampness.
I was soaked. It was Niagara Falls out there going down the steps. Anyway, it's fun.
Yeah, it happens like that.
CHOK Radio, of course, once again going to be broadcasting all the games this year on radio, and we're going to be here
not
all the
preseason, though.
No, not preseason, not tonight, but coming up. We may. I'm going to put it out right there because you never know who's watching.
You're not dropping secrets now, are you?
No.
Well, okay. Because you were holding on to some secrets, and you were teasing me terribly late.
Last time we were.
Yes.
Yeah, I did. Okay, coming up, I will have. At some point, probably later this week on my Facebook page, I will have tickets to give away for the home opener.
How exciting is that? That's awesome.
So that's.
And here I was thinking you were about to tell us that you got us a box seat for next year, and you were going to take us upstairs For the prime real estate. That's
I don't. If you want to go up there, I'll bring you up there. If you want to go up to see Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and
Absolutely.
VIP up there, we'll get you up there.
All right.
We're going to be going around. We're going to be doing a lot more wandering. Pardon me, when my son Jason's here to help me with the camera, 100%. We're going to be doing some wandering around, going upstairs. We're going to have a lot of fun, a lot of cool things happening this year. And
I like fun.
It starts with some great ticket giveaways. We're going to have probably some T-shirts and hats and all that throughout the season as well. Pardon me.
Swag.
Yeah, pardon me.
We call that swag in the
That's
biz.
right. That's what we call it, swag. No, what I was getting to was Lee Cunningham.
Lee Cunningham.
Jake Borey, if you're watching, would like to have Lee Cunningham on the show. Lee doesn't like getting in front of the camera.
I don't know why.
He's got a face for radio.
Well, but he's got that wonderful voice.
I have known Lee for 25 years.
Yeah.
He has always had that great voice. Great guy as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Interesting fellow. I love you, Lee. Would love to have you here on one of our shows here talking to you. But of course, yes, as I said, CHOK Radio will be here for all the home games, regular season, and playoffs, because we're going to get to the playoffs. We're going to put that out there for
100%.
sure.
Yeah, 100%.
And I want to give a quick shout out to our friends at Blackwater Coffee and the Bicycle Shop as well.
Absolutely,
for
David Scott.
Supporting us over the years, so that's awesome. All right, well, we are about 3 minutes away about getting things started under here. Wow.
Sweet.
Could we just stay live? We'll just stay live and we'll just stand on our tippy toes here.
This is not a good view from here.
Yeah, no, I know. It's all right. We don't want to get into that anyway. We're having fun doing our thing here.
Yes, we
appreciate you watching. If you're enjoying this, do us a favor in the comments below.
Yeah.
Put in the hashtag The Passion Returns. That's the hashtag for this year.
Is that Passion Returns?
You can still do Ghosting Go hashtag if you want. That helps too. And please click the share button. We are live right now on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, and Twitch. Do you know what Twitch is?
I know what Twitch is. What's a Periscope?
What's a Periscope? It's one of those things when you're on a submarine and when you're underwater in your bathtub.
I was just pulling your leg.
Okay. Ow, oh, that's what that was.
Yeah, absolutely.
Twitter. Funny guy.
Twitch.
Should really drop sports and get into comedy.
Yeah, 100%.
And I'm going to fix up our names.
If I ask you about Periscope, you might twitch. See?
I mentioned Tweet. Here they come. The Sarnia Sting coming out onto the ice. We're getting ready for official puck drop here in just a couple of minutes.
All right.
I mentioned Twitch because we'll talk about it next time.
All right.
We'll get you back second period.
Second period, okay? I'm here.
We'll talk about Twitch and why you need to follow us there.
Perfect.
Click the share button. Give us some love. Click the love button up there as well.
The love button.
All right. Okay.
All right.
Fans got to go watch. I got to go watch and pretend like I'm doing something here. Thank you all so much for watching. I got to remember. Okay, because Jason's not here, so I got to do this.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
All right.
And your mark gets set. For the show live on location, part of the Video Show Network, I'm David Burrows and my friend Jay Peckham.
Go Sting, go!